Today I am going to narrate a short story on the topic The Devilish Inheritance. Sonam, why Sonam? Come and have your lunch now, called a familiar voice from a distance. The message seems to echo from the walls and roofs of every house in the village. That is my mother calling me. I have to go for lunch now, announced Sonam to Zangmo excitedly. With a twinkle in her eyes, she carefully laid down the baby doll that she was playing with in front of Zhangmu. She and Zhangmu, her closest friend in the whole wide world, had molded the doll out of same sticky red mud a few hours ago. Still sitting on a plank of wood, she reached out for a large buckwheat leaf beside her and plucked it clean off the plant. She wiped the mud off her small hands with the leaf, exposing her egg-white skin as she was getting to her feet to leave. She threw a casual look at her friend and said, I am already starving. All right, go home. I will wait here for you, Zhang Mo assured her friend, with a smile that could have melted even a devil's heart. She picked up the doll and wrapped it neatly with a piece of pink polyester cloth that she had picked up from the rubbish pit outside Taylor Sange's house while she was on her way to the playset that morning. Well, since your mother is also going to call you any time now, why don't you go home too? We will meet her again after lunch, suggested Sonam. No, I don't feel like eating. I feel as if my tummy is full, countered Zhangmo with a heavy sigh. I saw that dream again last night, you see, confessed Zhangmo in a sad tone. Oh, I am so sorry for you, Zhangmo, exclaimed Sonam with a look of genuine concern on her face. Why don't you come with me to my place to eat? Maybe a change of place will bring back your appetite, suggested Sonam. That's all right. I really don't feel like eating. You go ahead. Declined Zhangmo, her eyes unmoving and fixed on the doll. Sonam sat down beside her mother in their kitchen on the finely polished floor made of rock-hard walnut plank. Her mother served her two wooden serving spoons full of a cooked mixture of white rice and ground maize in a small bangchu. Then her mother passed her a maple cup of steaming curry made from potato and red chili, dressed with homemade cottage cheese and a large wooden cup of fresh buttermilk. As she began to eat, her mind was preoccupied by her concern for Zhangmo. Like herself, Zhangmo had just turned 6. Since Zhangmo always shared every dream she saw with her, Sonam knew that Zhangmo had been seeing more dreams than she did lately. Sonam would hardly see any dreams, but when she did, she could never remember them well enough to share with her friend. She always wished that she could. However, Zhangmo's dreams were more often than not either terrifying or depressing. She would see someone trying to, or actually hurting somebody else. Or she would see herself trying to run away from someone or something. Such dreams always made Sangmo feel as if she had been run over by a herd of mules. The only supposedly happy dreams she saw were those of herself sharing a lot of food and drinks with her mother. Although Zhangmo was too small to even touch liquor of any kind offered by other people, and every time she saw a dream of that nature, she would lose her appetite the next day, even if she had gone to bed with an empty stomach the previous night. So Sonam always thought that Zhangmo saw weird dreams that had equally weird impacts on her and always felt sorry for her. One day, Sonam was amid fun and laughter with her mother, who was spinning wool to weave a coat for her father. Suddenly, Sonam felt an acute ache in her tummy. She tried in vain to hide the pain from her mother, but the copious sweat on her forehead half away the game. Yelama, you are sweating profusely, exclaimed her mother, full of worries. Are you all right? She continued, placing the back of her hand on her forehead to feel her temperature. Yelama, you have a fever.
panicked her mother. No, Amma, I just got a sudden mild tummy ache. She insisted to calm down her mother. Mild? What do you mean? What about this fight? She demanded. We don't have the fire going in the oven, and this isn't summer either, she continued fanatically. And before Sonam could even think of an alibi, her mother threw another question at her with an inquisitive look on her face. Have you started getting a visitor already? Who, Amma? Inquired Sonam nervously. I mean, you have already started getting your periods? Rephrased her mother. What period, Amma? Sonam managed to mutter through her clenched teeth as her face started to redden with her escalating body temperature. Within the next few seconds, the pain became unbearable. Sonam jammed the palms of her hands hard against her tummy in an effort to subdue the pain and discomfort. She bowed her body forward and increased the pressure of her palms against her tummy. Finally, as the pain became increasingly intense, she rolled over her side on the bare floor. Her mother quickly lifted Sonam's head, placed it onto her lap, and called out hysterically, Sonam Appa, and as her father came running into the room, her mother pleaded to him, Sonam is sick. Please run to the astrologer and seek his advice. The chain carried her daughter to the altar room and laid her down on mattress. All of a sudden, Sonam started shivering uncontrollable as her body temperature started to drop at an alarming rate, as if she was immersed naked in a pool of ice cold on a frosty January morning.
Dichen covered her daughter with a thick Tibetan woolen blanket. Just then, the sound of conch blown dutifully by the caretaker of the Blades monastery waved over the village to announce the arrival of dusk. Sonam suddenly sat up erect in her bed. She curiously scanned the room with her weak eyes like a monkey introduced to a novel object. Then Sonam threw her long silky hair over her shoulder with a swift toss of her head, took a long gaze at the chain, and gave her a warm familiar smile that surely did not belong to her daughter. A rattle, the chain held her daughter by her shoulders with both her hands and tried to help her down. Lie down and try to get some sleep now. You will feel better when you wake up in the morning, she persuaded Sonam, trying to keep her daughter's spirit high. Is something wrong with me, Dijen? Demanded Sonam in a familiar hoarse voice to her total bewilderment. I don't feel comfortable here, she continued, throwing a brief glance from the corner of her eyes at the 1 foot tall copper statue of goddess Tara that was shining in the flickering light of a butter lamp in the altar. Let's go to your kitchen, she tried to get up. Dichen's whole self was filled with a mixed feeling of anguish, despair, and anger as she realized what was going on. Sonam was possessed by Sangmo's mother's Sundri, an evil spirit of the living. As Sonam's father ran into the room, he saw his wife screaming at Sonam, or so he thought at the top of her lungs. You shameless woman, how could you do this? Take it easy, Dichen, consoled the man, putting his hand on her shoulder gently, squeezing it with the hope to calm her down. Sonam is your daughter's best friend. Your friend held the chin into Sonam's face, tears rolling down her cheeks. To this, Sonam gave her a brief, sly look. Then she began to sway the upper half of her body from side to side like a guilty teenage monk receiving a monotonous lecture on good conduct from his lama after he had been caught stealing the money from the monastery's altar. So you already know, remarked her husband. Why don't you come down and serve your guests Ara and food while his eyes were fixed on the patient, full of disgust. Doji, your newborn calf is really beautiful, Sonam said, taking her father by surprise. So that's the story, muttered Doji as he recollected Zhangmo's mother admiring his newborn Mithun crossbreed calf outside his house a few days ago. The couple instantly understood that Zhangmo's mother must have thought of their newborn calf at the very moment, thereby unconsciously releasing the evil spirit in her to visit their household and possess Sonam. The chain put some cold leftover rice from that day's lunch in a clean bangchu. She separated the rice into two roughly equal piles through the middle of the bangchu. Then she placed a piece of salted dry fish each of the piles of rice. She placed the bangchu on a small traditional table in front of her guest and placed a small maple cup beside the bangchu, filled it with the brim with ara from cylindrical bamboo container. She then chanted the traditional local spell that was very familiar to her. Whether you have come from east or west or north or south, please have ara and rice with fish. Whether you have come from Minje, Tangmachu, Nevi, Shunkar, or Dormashong, or from within Pagidong, please drink some ara and eat hot rice and delicious fish. Whether the guest is from far or near, please quench your thirst with ara and dismiss your hunger with rice and fish. Whether you are a spirit of the living or of the dead or of a dove, please quench your thirst with wine and dismiss your hunger with rice and fish. But please do not harm our daughter. Do not harm our innocent child. We have neither the heart of a revengeful son out to avenge his parents' murder against you, nor the courage of two envious lovers against you. So, please do not harm our child. Do not harm our innocent daughter. If our service is not up to your expectation, please do not be upset, but forgive us and do not harm our child. Please look upon yourself and not harm others. Jichin picked up the towel with one hand while the other grabbed the edge of Sonam's kira as if removing Flea from it. Now, please leave. Do not harm our child. Please go back to where you have come from. Do not harm our innocent daughter and leave us alone, she requested and ushered the invisible guest out of the room. As her mother was crossing the threshold of the altar room, Sonam suddenly felt a great sense of relief as if she had just been released from inside a boiling cauldron. She felt her body drained of every bit of energy and she slumped onto the mattress as he gently stroked her hair with his fingers and seemed to murmur something. Her eyes began to feel heavy, and as she closed her eyes, she saw Zhangmo and her mother leave the altar room. She tried to call after Zhangmo, but the weariness of her body and the sleep in her eyes got better of her. Then she heard her father's murmur fade away into the silence of the night. Early next morning, Zhangmo walked onto Sonam's room. Sonam, I saw you in my dream last night. You were very sick. Are you all right? She asked. For a moment, Sonam could not help but stare into her friend's face. She was lost in her own thought as she was vaguely recalled the previous night's incident. She had seen Zhangmo and her mother leaving the altar room at the end of the ritual, but she knew they could not have been in their house in person because she had been alone with her parents. Then, as her experiences from the previous night began to revealed an unbearable truth. She felt utterly sorry for her friend. What she had been hearing from her parents and other village folks about Zhangmo's family were true after all. She realized that Zhangmo was going to inherit the family's evil. spirit of living someday. In fact, she might already have. And as she recollected Zangmo's tales of her dreams, Sonam realized the possibility of her friend already possessing the evil spirit became even clearer. Lama Keno, not here, not my best friend, she pleaded deep inside her heart. A sudden gust of salty tears washed down her cheeks. She felt her stomach churned. Her heart ached unbearably, as if her bare chest was cut open and her very heart slashed through by a sharp dagger. She is so nice, so gentle, so loving, and so beautiful. And she is the closest friend I have. Why her? Kenchusum? Why my Zangmu? She continued, pleading silently, her mouth wide open with despair. The room was suddenly filled with her uncontrollable, desperate sobs as she released the tension within her. She reached out to Zangmo with wide open arms, as though Zangmo were her prince, charming who had come to her rescue. Zangmo knelt down and took her into her gentle arms. Through her sobs, Sonam reassured Zangmo, I am all right. I am all right, Zangmo. Sonam cried away her despair in her friend's loving arms, but she kept what she was the other night to herself, lest she would offend friend. Deal in her heart, she desperately that she had not seen what she had really seen. She pathetically tried to convince herself that what she saw the other night actually did not happen. It shouldn't happen. Not to Zangmo, and not between us. She lamented secretly and cried even more as her friend tried to calm her down. Zangmo did not have the faintest idea of what was tormenting Sonam. No matter what, Zangmo will always be my best friend, decided Sonam secretly. Years later, as Sonam was weaving Akira beside her mother said, Sonam, you are already 18 now. Soon you will be married and have a family of your own. Dichen said this without looking at Sonam, taking her by surprise. So, Amma, teased Sonam, I really feel that you should stop being friends with Sammo. She, as a matter of fact, please, Amma, not again. She is my best friend, rebutted Sonam, instantly losing her temper. I know, but village folks say that her evil spirit is getting more powerful than even her mother's. It could be dangerous for you, it could be dangerous to our family. They say that her evil spirit can now walk the nights in the form of a fierce bear. Her mother tried to convince her. It is nonsense, Amma. Stop saying cruel things about my friend. She yelled back. She took off the leather strap from her wrist, dumped the half-finished kira on the floor, and left the room. Sonam ran out of the village and up a hillock to her favorite hangout spot under the old wild tree on the cliff. That was the place where the gently blowing cold winds from the snow-capped mountains in the far north always made her headaches of frustrations and heartaches of sorrows fly away. As she approached the spot, she saw Zhang sitting there alone, staring at an eagle hovering in the clear afternoon sky. Sonam excitedly ran up the rest of the cliff. Zhang, what are you doing here, all alone? Asked Sonam, panting for air. How I wish I were that eagle, Zhang said in a soft and tired voice, her eyes still fixed on the eagle. Her hands were cupped around her well-proportioned chin and her elbows were rested on her bent knees. I could just fly away, far away from this village and from everyone, she continued with a tone of deep remorse. All leave me all alone here, staring at another eagle. Teased Sonam, smiling.
If your wishes me true, I will also make the same wish. And if my wish should be granted as well, I will come flying after you, continued Sonam, trying to cheer up her friend. Why would you want to do that? Asked Zammo. Because you are my best friend and I want to be near you always, replied Sonam, sounding like an 8-year-old girl. Really exclaimed Zammo with a blank mind. Anything the matter? Asked Sonam, feeling concerned. Would you promise not to tell anyone if I told you something? Demanded Zangmo, and Sonam nodded her head without a second thought. Zangmo took Sonam's hand into hers, looked into her eyes like a stray dog begging for food, and asked, Do you know that my mother has the evil spirit of the living, and that I have it too? The question took Sonam by utmost surprise. For a minute or so, Sonam was at loss of words. Then, as Sangmo's tears fell on her hand, Sonam yelled at her friend, What is wrong with you today? Why are you saying such horrible things? But it's true, Sonam, declared Zangmo. I realized it completely only last night. Zangmo started crying like a starving baby from whom somebody had snatched away the milk bottle. Do you remember the dreams I used to tell you about? Zhang asked between sobs. Yes. What about them? The person who was hurting other people in my dream was none other than my mother's evil spirit, Lama Kenu. She broke down again. Are you crazy? Is this a bad joke or what? Zhangmo, you are imagining things, right? Demanded Sonam, desperately trying to console her friend. No, it is not my imagination, and I am not crazy either. Zhang Mo defended herself as if she was fully confident of the facts that she had just unfolded, and that thing I was trying to run away from in my dreams was my inner of my mother's evil spirit initially, explained Zhang Mo. What do you mean by initially? Demanded Sonam. An ear engulfed her entire being and sent a cold chill down her spine. That evil spirit has been ultimately replaced by my own, Zhangmo went on. What am I going to do, Sonam? What am I going to do? I can't bear this thing inside me hurting innocent people for nothing. A lot of people have already been hurt, confided in her friend. Zhangmo leaned over and buried her face in her friend's lap as if trying to escape the sight of a horrible scene. Sonam was lost for words. She fumbled for something to say to console her friend, but the words choked in her throat. Last night at around midnight, I saw myself walking through the village alone, continued Zangmo. Every dog in the village was barking and glowering furiously at me. Some of them were chasing me as I started to run. Then, suddenly, I saw my body transformed into a huge black bear. The dogs barked away from me but barked even louder. Then, as I mean the bear, was passing by up a nervous millet field, the bear transformed back into me. Oh, Sonam, it was so frightening. Sonam was lost for words again. Zangmo began to cry helplessly again. Then, as I was walking along the edge of the field, I saw Karma walking towards me. Zangmo continued. After a long time, as I was trying to greet him, he walked right through me as if I was a layer of thin air. At this, I felt a tremendous sense of rage build up inside me. Then I saw myself chasing him and sinking my fingernails deep into his back and scratching him hard time and again. This morning, I heard that Karma was sick because his back was badly scratched by an evil spirit last night. I was that evil spirit, Sonam. It was me, laminated Zangmo. and beat her chest with the fist of her right hand. And as Sonam held her friend's hand tightly to stop her from hurting herself, Zhang Mo continued, I swear I had no intention of hurting him or anybody else for any reason whatsoever. Finally, Sonam managed to say, that wasn't you. And it's not your fault that karma is sick, Zhang Mo. Do you hear me? It's not your fault. But I saw myself scratching him. I swear I did. And she broke down again. Listen to me, Zhangmo. I know you wouldn't do such an awful thing. It wasn't you, but the evil spirit inside you. You must understand this. You must believe this, begged Sonam, with genuine concern for her friend. She felt terrible sorry for Zhangmo. Then Sonam herself broke down at the sight of her friend's despair. And there, in the cliff under the old wild pear tree, the two friends lay in each other's arms, weeping helplessly at Sangmo's devilish inheritance. Just then, a gust of chilled wind announced the approach of winter. Another eagle joined the solitary eagle in the clear sky. The bright rays of the late afternoon sun sent off multicolored sparkles from the surface of a silver, clear river down in the valley. The two friends stared at the eagles in unison, exchanged a glance with one another, and smiled. Each knew that the other was thinking of two friends, two eagles, but one common wish. If you like this story, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until then, thanks for being with me. Thank you.